welcome everyone. Thank you for coming once more. Um, Here now, I will introduce you to our next speaker for today's session at the Inspector Clouseau uh, Conference Hall for the Security Summit 2021. Our next speaker here is Fedor Mendeleev. He is the sales director at AXXON Soft, which is a leading developer of video management and physical security information management software. Since 2003, the company has been creating disruptive technologies that push the safety and security industry forward. We are delighted to have you here with us, Mr. Fedor. Welcome. And
Yeah,
you
I'm
now
here. I'm
take the
here.
stage.
Sorry, colleagues. By reason of all time, I have to say I work with this market already 6 years, but all time forget about time zone difference. Excuse me, please.
It is all right. Thank you for
I
coming.
hope so.
So,
Okay, colleagues, let me start. Thank you for warm words, first of all, about our company. Today, I want to raise a really important topic. It's a working of artificial intelligence analytic or neural networks in a security projects. All of you who once had a chance to work with this analytics, you know how much cost resources to work with it. For example, if you use a CPU, it could require, I don't know, 6 or 8 channels per server, even if it's server enough power. And today I want to introduce to you, first of all, just general video analytic, what we already did together with our partners. And at the end, I want to show you one of a solution, what we support from a new version of AXXON Next, what was released 2 weeks ago. And even we'll show you some small graphics, how it's, what kind of influence it gives for us, and what kind of benefits you can get if you will use our software together with our artificial intelligence and GPU. Okay, a little bit about our company. It was founded in 1996. During this time, we already opened more than 50 offices all over the world. Mainly, we're a Russian company, and how to say, first of all, we exactly start from it. But then was opened first office in Spain, then Europe and US and etc. Now we have around more than 500 employees all over the world, and we, as I mentioned, from 1996 work on market, and we took part in development on a development of market with security by itself. We bring to it capture cards with software. We was one of the first in Russian market who start to use it. We offer then Intellect, our physical security information management system, and just then we start to work with artificial intelligence. We start to work with from 2017, and one of the last our new features what we implement in our product line. It's a cloud solution. It's a system what is allow you to create your own VSaaS product. It's named Build Your Own VSaaS, but it's topic of another webinar, what I hope we'll have nearest future. First of all, let's say mainly pain of market, it's a COVID and pandemic would bring to us a lot of headache, and I think not just for us. What we can offer in the case of neural networks for how we can predict and how we can help to market to detect or to react to the people who can be diseases or who can be spread of COVID. Like here you can see as integration with Mabotics. Here you can see time to time, by the way, I will stop videos because it's enough fast, show some things. This is a social distance detector would allow you to detect humans who is not too close to each other. This feature can be used not just for pandemic detection, but for social for pandemic, but also for some social areas where people too close to each other. For example, it can allow to detect a moment when they plan to fight or to do something else. And one of the feature also, what is how to target is anti-COVID. It's a mask detection. Here you can see, like when we see a system, we see a person without mask. We exactly can detect, notify, and then possible to search in archive who it was, and even to give a penalty to him. And let's forget about COVID. I think everybody already tired from it. Let's start to talk about more analytic. One of the most interesting analytic what we offer, you already saw it in social distance. It's we internally name it with skeletons, but officially named human behavior. It allows to detect a few things. For example, here it's man down. It could be some different social areas, hospitals, a bank, or something else where a person could be fall down. It could be some problem with health, or maybe he can be hit. This model it's look like it was developed by request of one of our bank in Russia. They wanted to detect a moment when what is named suspicious when person sitting near the ATM machine. The situation is really suspicious for them, and they told that for us it's really important. We adapt our human behavior analytic and make for them this detector. Also, this detector allowed to solve enough specific issues. It's an aiming position. When person aiming from a gun or from a pistol, we can detect arms, and to understand that person in such position can detect it exactly. And at the same time, what is more reliable maybe is that person can be raised arms, and in this case, it also can be detected. At the same time, model allowed to detect solve a more simple thing like a queue management for a complicated scene. For example, like here, maximum allowed number of person is exceeded. And to solve a specific tasks like here, that person not put a hand on the rail. In this case, he violated the rules, and he already can be get a ticket for it. Time to time we get such a request. Most important that you need to understand, if you didn't take part, didn't how to touch analytic what's based on neural networks, that it's really you can adapt it for new things enough fast. At the same time, it's really complicated, and it can require additional teaching on your environment. Here you can see how look like, for example, from inside model of human behavior. It's from social distance. We measure a distance between humans. You see legs, hands, all of it is detected, and we can monitor a person's. And in general, it allows us to detect every type of position of body, what can be suspicious by opinion of a customer. If person if do something wrong, sitting in a park or lie down on a grass, this also can be detected. And thanks to GPU, now it became enough cheap technology, because in the past, especially in the beginning, we was able on AXXON launch just a few channels, and it was too expensive for them. Also, neural network allow us to increase quality of working with regular the things what is already famous on the market many years, like a people counting. Like here you can see these conditions for regular people counting really complicate, because a lot of people here, and system can make a lot of mistakes. But with using of a neural network detector, we can increase quality dramatically, and we can give a really good accuracy for this. Even we can make again about COVID, we can make a counting for count the number of people who is inside, and notify a person that he is forbidden to enter. Also new thing, again about people counting from marketing tool. It's a counting, but it's not regular counting as we saw in the previous video. It's a counting, how to different simultaneous counting of staff and the visitors. You see here was a 2 person from staff, and system recognized like a 2 and 1 from a visitor. This feature could be really useful for marketing research. At the same time, we can get notifications that, for example, some of visitors stay alone, and during some time, what is limited by owner of a shop, nobody from staff come to him and not consult him. And I think you know that it could be really important to increase loyalty of visitors. Also, neural network analytic allowed to increase quality of working of regular things like human detection. From left side of video, you can see regular tracker, what can be exactly adjusted for some circumstances, but anyway, you cannot adjust it so thinly to, so thinly to give a quality the same like neural network is giving. You see there is no any false alarm, just human is detected. And for complicated scenarios, neural network would be really useful for such case, especially if you talk about perimeter protection. Sorry, I all time forget that space. It's bring to another video. Sorry. Okay, just let me pass it. Here is, for example, you see a lot of movement things, but system react just for humans. And if you see some just a human cross a line to the left, we get detection. For this video, we can tell thanks to our South Africa branch, they realize the system would allow to protect the animals, because people try to kill it or to steal a horn from rhino. And as soon as human come to fence to close, system react and launch automatically really alert with the speaker, and you see the people start to run out from them with using of siren. And same story can be used at night time. You see again a human. Another task is to detect a human as a thermal vision camera like here. But again, by reasons that neural network allow to teach itself, we can make a special type of detector. And what is most important compared with regular detectors, what is based on algorithm, mathematic algorithm, this can be done enough fast. You don't need to wait 1 year or 2 years when developer will make when developer will create a mathematic model, and then after it you will be able to use it on your location. But at the same time, it cannot be so the same common like a mathematical algorithm. That's why for some cases it could require to teach a neural network on your side, but in this case quality of analytics will increase dramatically. Also, neural network allow us to solve such as enough complicated task for a regular mathematical algorithm like a counting of cars on a parking. This need just for statistic, but what is most important is that task really complicate for regular analytics and enough easy to implement for a neural networks. And what does it give to us? It gives us big opportunity, because we now able to solve a task what come from a customers what we wasn't able to solve in the past. Because for example, I will show you in the next slides some specific requirements was satisfied by using of neural network. This task exactly just for a parking lot for a shopping mall owners to understand how many cars there are. Also, we, for example, not so long time ago, get a request from one of a company who supply a house. It's I think 10 or 20 stage house, and they was need to count number of cars what stay in the parking to understand how free parking space is there. It's also really became really popular because the cloud solution became more and more popular, and company who supply cloud, they need to offer something new all time. And one of a new feature what they promised, what they wanted to offer to their customers, it's such feature of counting of a free space, free parking space near the houses. I'm not sure, but there also was a even video when the system was work at night. At the same time, not just for fun or to increase loyalty, neural network can bring even money or return money for a governmental sector or for commercial sector. For example, this video from Spain, I'm not able to tell what is the city. Main task here to detect how much time spent the car at the free in a parking place. And as soon as you see that time is overcome, system automatically generate ticket. At the same time, you can get statistic how many cars is now in the city. And as soon as I remember, in Europe, it's enough often when blue or green zone would allow you to stay not more than an hour or two. It's allow you to control number of car in the city. This is from commercial market. Owner of a shop, they wanted to detect the car would stay longer, what is allowed. And again, you see we get notifications that car spent more than allowed time, and we're able to make a ticket for them. But as soon as you see what I told about teaching, position of camera totally different, and for this issue we was forced to teach a system, but at the same time we have analytic for detector cars. I mean that you need to be careful for projects and not how to say not be so not expect that as soon as you implement analytic it will start work from beginning. It's this process can take around 1 month to adjust your analytic to your conditions. This is more important for customers, and all time please remember this. One of a big part, what I mentioned, what is became became able for us, it's a not just a simple physical security when we protect the perimeters or we, I don't know, detect the humans inside the building. More interesting for us became a detection of some risk situation or what is could be dangerous and predicted. Because I think for all of you, it's clear that predicted situation is much more profitable than to investigate it. This analytic detector human without helmet, you see. And as soon as this could be useful for developers, building development companies. And on this video, you see it's airport, and as soon as this person take out his high vision vest, he system detect him and notify operator. All of this, it's rules, security, how to say, safety rules, what can save, really save a life. And we offer now a lot of detection tools what allow to predict such critical situation what could appear. This slide demonstrates for you even next generation what is named PPE, protection equipment. And unfortunately, I'm not able to show you a video from this object. It's not allowed. But in general, really interesting. This object, it's a critical infrastructure object, hydropower station, as soon as I remember. And by requirements of customer, we was need here not just to detect that human is in a helmet, but also we was need to detect that he is in a special jacket, boots, gloves, and trousers, and etc. As soon as we start proof of concept, start to be clear that it's impossible to give a high reliability of detection of gloves, because you understand that person, not all time you can see a hands, and not as good it can be shown not so good. And also was one of the requirements that if person is in an unzipped jacket, this also was finally decided to not use. And now in object we have a detection of helmets, jackets, and special kind of trousers. Here again can see how system look like from inside. We detect, we first of all split a human for some parts, and then we detect on it, do this person wear on the right wear or no. This is another story. This object, as soon as I remember, came from Africa. It was from mines, and the idea of a project was enough simple to detect, to examine equipment. You see a person, I mean operator, just let me move this. He push a button, start examine, and then system automatically detect, does this person again wearing the right clothes or no. It's just another example of how neural network can become not part of security, but allow to decrease the probability of some critical situations. And let me come to the story of what is not again security. Exactly all of you know that by most part of rules, it's forbidden that to use something just a physical instead of physical security sensor to detect a fire or smoke. But what to do if you have a really open space store, or you need to do it for forest? This project came to us from Belarus, and for this was even realized a system of strangulation with using of a few cameras. It's not shown on the video, but you see as soon as system find the smoke, system understand on what direction of look a camera, and then on base of 3 cameras can allocate where this alert situated. I mean, was source of the smoke. At the same time, I want to tell you that we have a few use case when we implement the smoke detection and fire detection for a regular object, not a forest. It can be useful for some open parkings or open stores, or even for some hangars, because in a hangar you understand volume of air enough big and really complicated to install their fire sensors or smoke sensor what will be work with a high reliability. That's why smoke and fire detections there, it costs really small money for I mean for capital investment, but at the same time it can save much more it can save a time what will be taken from a initiation of fire, and when till the moment then person will see it, and it will allow to decrease seriously potential losses from side of customer. Another type of detection tool that we implement with things for narrow networks, it's empty shelves. Here exactly you can see fast overview. After some time, system understand where is stay something, and then start to identify that this shelf is empty and this is not. Really useful thing, not just for increasing of sales, but also allow to collect statistic. And together with a regular thing like with POS can be used, for example, for monitoring of selling of alcohol, because you know if something will take alcohol from a shelf, system can detect it, and then our software will start to expect that in some time have to be a peer event from a POS machine. If it not appear, it could be recognized like suspicious situation, and then security operator already can take a photo from the person who took alcohol and start to find him all over the shop to understand when he was seen last time. Maybe he put it inside jacket and left a shop and didn't pay for it. Another special task came again from Africa. It's counting. Oh, sorry, let's go so fast. Yeah, let me show manually. Came from Africa. It was a task to counting of gas barrels. This was a first edition. Second edition, by request of customer, we implement a system what even can differentiate by volume of these barrels, and it's allowed to decrease against losses what had a customer. Another task, okay, it's already from Russia, was much more simple from one side, but from other side, it really again not so really not character for security. Idea was a simple, and issue was a simple to count number of wheel pairs, and you see it's as soon as it passes some lane. Excuse me. We make it just simple +1. For us, you need to understand that such detection tools, it's really cheap to implement, but it can solve a really big problem. What can decrease losses of customer really seriously. Special task, as I mentioned to you, narrow network by reason that allow to develop really fast can solve. We can be teach so fast can be used for solving a special task. For example, this video was made from quadricopter. What is specific here? Specific is simple that task was really interesting because we was need to count the number of wagons on each of lane. And you see day night system work without any problem. Even special type of wagons was counted. This I think I don't need to give a comment. This was, I don't remember from which countries came, but you see it was just big counting. For example, I work in this AXXON software already more than 10 years, and because 10 years ago for me such issue was recognized like something like what is required R&D during a few years, and exactly nobody will pay for it from side of customer to make some solve a so simple thing. And another example of ability to adapt of neural network. Just one question for who is see it. Is it a real mice or no? Just it's mice detection, you see.
Very interesting. Yes. So is it a real mouse?
No, it's exactly not real. you know, you can release it and then you will need to catch it, and it's a big
Yeah, it would
headache.
be very interesting.
Yeah.
I believe it's quite interesting to see for
Oh
our
yeah.
spectators as well.
Yeah. You see, there's just test for a few rooms, and but again, as I mentioned, what is important from one side, it's a few years ago it was really critical to develop such thing. It was really expensive. Now it became a really pop and much easier. And now let's come back to already, because not nothing new you will see here. It's just a few versions ago we implemented next face recognition with black white list. Exactly, it can be not just black white. It can be pink, green, yellow, blue. Doesn't matter. In each of type of list, you will have its own reaction. You see it's added from a cloud. In this case, cloud can be just our AXXONnet.com. It's a free public cloud, or you can do it from local cloud. Doesn't matter. It's it's already included distribution. It's not a problem. And as I mentioned, you can create as much lists as you need, and you can see system will recognize very well. I know that it's forbidden in many countries, GDPR and etc., but I think it's for some specific task it could be required. And license plate recognition. Why I mentioned so, how to say, enough common things for detection in my presentation about neural network, because I think for most part of people who again had a chance to work with such things know that in general it uses also neural network inside. And I think you know how many resources is utilized by any license plate camera or a face recognition camera if you use a CPU like a main power. And now let's come to, and this was a reason of it was that it used a neural network. I can tell you that once first time I took part in a project with neural network, this was a smoke detection, and my partner made a mistake. They launched a 25 frame per second for smoke detection, and they utilize by two cameras really power Intel Xeon server with two Xeons. And just after we adjust settings of a camera, we just put a 1 frame per few seconds. It became a normal quantity. It became something 30 or 50 cameras. But anyway, without a GPU, consumption of a CPU by neural network really expensive, let's name it. And what is give to us GPU? First of all, we able to decompress video for a most, let's name it, clear to way. It's to work with a interface. You can see on this video like a difference between a CPU load for a different for the same, let's name it, layout. One with GPU, another one without GPU, and doesn't matter about that we have a special technology what allow to use a secondary stream. But anyway, often it required to use high definition on the cameras when you show it on in a 4K screen. For example, when you use a video wall, it could be required to simultaneously show 100, 200 cameras. And in this case, even one computer could be not enough. In this case, you will be forced to use a special video wall processor, not like in our case, you can use a regular computer. And but thanks to GPU, it became already normal load. And for example, I had an object when we launch 250 cameras on one machine, i7, with the 12 screens. I saw by myself how we on the last exhibition launched 100 full HD cameras on the one screen without any losses of frames. or skipping of frames, and this could be really important because for some case even a few skipped frames could be really critical. And as I mentioned, by reasons that 4K screens became cheaper and cheaper, in this case already you have a sense to launch a full HD, even you have 16 channels on a screen on one in a high definition, not in low definition. Now also we, from again, as I mentioned to you during thanks to last for my colleagues from development team, we start to able to use the GPU also for decompression inside the server, what allow us to decrease number of servers what can be used for analytic. It seems that any of analytic, when you work with it, it required to do a simple thing. You need to decompress a video, and thanks to GPU, we can increase number of such camera what can be work with one server dramatically. It could be 4 times more or 5 times more. Again, why? Because each stream what we can handle when we just store it. In this case, process enough simple. You take a stream, put it to the HDD or any other type of archive, and this process not seriously consume CPU. But when you need to work with any of analytic tool, you need to decompress. Sorry, you need to decompress stream, and thanks to GPU, this possible to do for us much cheaper than it could be with using of a just simple CPU. Who is producer with whom we are working? It's a Huawei. It's a Intel and NVIDIA. With Huawei, they have their own server. It's a special line, what's named Atlas. This Atlas allowed to install even till the 8 special type of cards to the server. And on our test, we launch 650 cameras with a human behavior. I see how to say. 2 years ago, it was a miracle. Now it's possible to launch. Intel give us HDDL. It's also narrow stick, and VPU. It's named Mustang. Also really power tool. It's not so power like Huawei Atlas and NVIDIA Tesla, but for a smaller object, it could be really useful because it have a cheaper price compared with, for example, Tesla or Quadra from NVIDIA and Huawei. And exactly NVIDIA, one of maybe, how to say, mostly logical company what is introduced here. Mainly we used on objects Tesla, NVIDIA Tesla T4, NVIDIA Quadra. From beginning, we start to test a different type of GPU from NVIDIA. And in beginning, we understood that, yeah, it's really cheap to use even 1080 or PAP and other type of video cards. But then after some time, we start to understood, our partners start to tell to us that after 1 year or 2 years of exploitation, video cards start to die because it's not somehow created, and architecture of it not allowed to work 24/7. And that's why we now recommend to our partners to use, for example, Quadra, RTX Quadra 400 or Tesla T4. This is the main solution what we see now for like for nearest future would allow to implement of narrow network what could be really useful for object, and to adjust price of solution to requirements of market, because exactly narrow network in general allow to solve a really complicated task. Even it could be really critical task, but nobody from customer will be ready to buy one server for, I know, with 2 gold Xeon to launch one video channel. That's why we see this big opportunity and big future in a cooperation with NVIDIA, Intel, and Huawei. With all of this company, we have a technological partnership with the certificates and etc. And we hope that producer of hardware will offer something new and specific what will allow to implement to you to objects narrow network, and it becomes the same common like now is motion detection it is. And just some reality, I want to show you 2 graphics. It's a pulse analytic, what is human behavior. And just here you can see a difference how many streams can be processed by regular server. with using of GPU or without GPU. On a top, you see HD 720p. You see 4 times more cameras can be handled, and as soon as you know, price of video card is much cheaper, much dramatically cheaper than price of servers. Try to imagine if you need to buy 4 servers with 2 Xeon Gold, or you can buy 1 Xeon Gold server with a 1 video card. Exactly, it's much cheaper to use a video card. And I know that situation with video card, thanks to crypto money, is now complicated. But anyway, it's possible to use because Tesla not so popular for this market, and the Tesla, Huawei, and even Intel solution can be used to decrease the price of implemented solution. In general, that's all what I wanted to tell to you today. I understand that I'm not open so big secret, but I wanted to show our technology, how we implement, and that it's already not a future, but it's already now time days. You can use software after my presentation. You can scan QR code to join to our Telegram group, or to write me email, or to talk with my colleague Anton, who is on our booth, virtual booth, and to ask him some question, and we will be able to give some license for test. And you're welcome with your questions. Thank you for your time, and I hope there is a questions or no. Tell me.
Yes, thank you for the presentation. It was quite informational. We will give a couple of minutes for people to give questions, and also to use this barcode scanner that Mr. Frieder provided. Currently, I don't see any questions at this point. However, I would like...
Maybe you, Mohammed, maybe you have a question. Just
Yeah, sure. I will ask a question.
Sure.
I've seen a number of the clients and partners that you already are working with, but I was wondering what kind of areas and businesses, to say, type of businesses and institutions that could have a great use of these systems. If you could explain that briefly. Hopefully I can understand.
Okay. Historically, I can tell you that mainly our customers was governmental sector. It was a big plants, fabrics, some big heavy industry, and retail. It became a strange, but retail in most part of cases, as soon as you start to work in a market, they are mostly sensitive for our solutions, because they really can count the money, and as soon as they see reaction, that the losers start go down, they're really sensitive for this question. Thanks to our China competitors, they really cover all other areas for regular video surveillance. That's why we start to work in narrow network also. And now narrow network allow us to open on new areas. For example, like you saw, it could be even if we talk about production, but it's not a safety, it's already optimization of a business, decreasing of losses. And what is most important that when we talk about safety and physical security, return of investments there time to time really not clear. In retail, yes, it's clear. If you use a POS model, you can see how number of losses decreases. But if you talk about regular perimeter protection or something else, you cannot recognize, is it real or no. As soon as you don't have, nothing has happened, it's customers start to think that it's wasted money. But when we talk about narrow networks, all of these possibilities, what is give to us, it seems that it's allowed to really decrease the expenses, everyday expenses. And that's why I mentioned that return of investment became much bigger. As I mentioned to you, for example, about this fire and smoke detection. Okay, how much money cost a camera? Okay, let's imagine that outside camera 250 euro, something middle. Yes, it's not because for smoke and fire detection, it's required just VGA resolution. Okay, computer. Okay, you take something like existing of computer with i3, or you already have something for a big system with a Xeons, doesn't matter. Even if you buy i3 computer, it will take for you, okay, let's imagine $700. And you pay licenses, which cost for all of, license for us will cost, I think, okay, approximately 200 euros, maybe 3, depending on what customer will want. Okay, we have a totally $1,200. From one side, it's not much, but from other side, you can put a one camera which look to the big parking, and as soon as there is a smoke, it will detect it immediately. Okay, during few seconds, not like when a regular security guy will sit and sleep on a night time, and then just after everything start to be burned, he will see it. I think it's a real situation. We had such requirements in Hungary for bus operators. They install it, for example. I mean, that narrow network, it's really useful for different, really specific areas. I mean, okay, one of a funny story, every salesperson have a lot of funny stories about requests. Once I had request about this human behavior analytic about skeletons, and one of my customer asked me, okay, can you teach your neural network to monitor not a human but a dogs? I told him, probably yes. By what is the reason? He told the reason is simple. People go for walk to the park, and time to time dog make a shit, and the people not clean after it. And we want to punish them with the tickets, and we need to make a special tool what will detect the shitty dogs.
Yeah, of course.
I just imagine how it will funny to see this ticket in our internal business system. And most said to me was think about person who will work with this video to teach a system. It was really it was really sad.
Yeah.
But such case was, yeah.
It's quite a funny, but like very practical scenario to think of. Yes.
Yes. Most important thing here, I can tell you another example. Okay, we get requests from a few different city municipalities. They will need to detect that either bins is empty or no. From one side, they was able to get notification. From other side, they was able to monitor special services, what is responsible for cleaning of bins. And a lot of such tasks, it's how to say, so closer to each other, to each of person. I mean, main problem of us, because we are vendor, we not work so much on the ground. We don't know what is really time to time client what kind of pain he have. And thanks for some of our clients, they bring to us and be able to share this information. By the same way, we start to work with the cloud, and now we have a really power solution. As I mentioned to you, we have, for example, again, about cloud and neural networks and GPU, what is common. For example, if you have just one camera, it's became really expensive to buy GPU. But if you have a few cameras, but it's distributed over a city or over a country, you're able to launch a cloud service to put their GPU, and price for each channel became as really nothing. Yeah, and you're able to launch it like a service. And we also give such opportunity. One of a way what we now push in the market from our side, push our clients, that's to bring a cloud solution. But we not, what is most important, we not offer our cloud, we offer instrument what allow to the customer to launch cloud on their side. For example, you're a telecom company, you can launch cloud on your side and spread it to all of your customers. If I will start to talk about it, it can take additionally 1.5 hours. That's why I don't want to grab a time from a next person. As soon as I understand there is no any new questions.
No, not yet. I would have advised you of it, apparently. Yeah, sadly though, I do encourage everyone to use the opportunity to ask questions right now since we are live. However, always they can contact Mr. Fitter and his company on Connect2B platform, and do step in contact with them.
Yeah, be so kind. We all time open. If as all time I told to my customers during the last 10 years, guys, if everybody told to you that it's impossible to solve this issue, call to me and we will discuss. Maybe we will find a solution.
Yeah, as you can see, they are very open, and their doors are they're always welcoming new customers.
Yeah, sure. It's all time new targets, new aims. It's all time interesting because in this case it's not became so boring to work. You see result.
Yeah, of
okay,
course.
colleagues.
Very diverse.
Yeah, thank you very much for attention. Thank you, Mohammed, and for all of your company for opportunity to introduce our solution, and hope that it was interesting to you and to visitors. Thank you very much, and keep in touch.
Yes, you're
I
welcome.
finish my
Thank you for
extra.
joining us, and we
Thank
appreciate
you.
your
Bye.
time. All right, all
Bye.
the best.